Hello, this is skill 10.3, and in this lesson, we're going to be looking at composite figures. And we'll start with a definition. What is a composite figure? It's pretty simple. It's just a figure that's made up of two or more geometric figures. So maybe it's a square and a rectangle. Maybe it is a rhombus with a circle attached to it. Maybe it's a square with a hole cut out of it. So we're using all of the same area formulas that we've already talked about. We're just going to kind of combine them into new shapes. So we'll start off with an example. In each of these examples, we're going to be finding both of the area and the perimeter of the composite figures. And we'll start with the first one that looks kind of like a house. Okay, so none of these, in my opinion, are overly difficult, but they are kind of a long process sometimes. So I think the key is just to stay organized. So I will always start out by just writing down what am I looking for, starting with area. So I'm looking for the area of a rectangle, and I'm going to outline that in red, and you can do the same if you have some colors. So we're finding the area of a rectangle, and then we are adding that to the area of a triangle. If you can use colors, that'll really help you stay organized. And neither one of those are overly difficult. Those are kind of our basic area formulas. So to stay organized, I like to do this. I like to go A with a little subscript R. That's where I'm going to find the area of my rectangle. An area of a rectangle is just base times height. So 6 is our base, 7.5 is our height. I'm going to save all of the units for the end. So I'm just going to do 6 times 7.5, and 6 times 7.5 is 45. Exactly, and we'll just leave it like that. And then I'm going to do the triangle. So I'm going to do A sub T, just so I remember that that's the triangle. And the triangle is up here, and it has a height of 4 feet, and it has that same base of 6. We can just see that those are congruent lines there. So it has a base of 6. Okay, so remember the area of a triangle formula is base times height divided by 2, or 1/2 base times height. So I'm going to do 6 times 4 divided by 2. 6 times 4 is 24, and half of 24 is 12. And now we can substitute those things back in. So if we go find the total area, we have our rectangle, which is 45, plus our triangle, which was 12. And altogether, 45 and 12 would be, what, 57? And then let's add our units back in. It's an area, so it's 57 feet squared. Okay, and that's done. So again, it's more of an organization thing than a difficult math thing. Last thing then is we need to find the perimeter. So the perimeter is going to be a little bit more difficult because we don't have the slants on our roof just yet. We don't have this piece here. So I think we're going to have to use some Pythagorean theorem to find that. So I'm going to cut that roof right in half. I'm going to call this 3 and this 4. And now I hope that we're kind of getting in the habit of, if we see a right triangle with legs of 3 and 4, we're recognizing that that's a 3, 4, 5 Pythagorean triple. 3, 4, 5. So this is a leg and a leg and a hypotenuse. So I'm not even going to go through all the work of the Pythagorean theorem. I'm just going to recognize that the hypotenuse is 5. And if that hypotenuse over there is 5, then this hypotenuse over here is also 5. So when finding perimeter, we have 2 5s, we have 2 7.5s, and then we have this 6 down at the bottom. So for perimeter, easiest way to do that is to just add up all of those sides. So 2 5s plus 2 7.5s plus that 6 on the bottom. So that's going to end up being 31 feet to get all the way around our house. All right, and then we're just going to do this one more example, and this one I think is actually going to be a little bit easier. There are multiple ways that you could do this composite figure. So if you see it a little bit differently than me, that's totally fine. I guess how I see it is breaking it up into 2 rectangles that look like this. So I would do a red rectangle And I'm going to do a blue rectangle. And for this one, I'm actually just going to write down the areas right inside the figures and then add them up at the end. So instead of doing all of that writing, I think the easiest way on this one is to just fill them right in. So if we're looking at the red one, we have a base of 3, a height of 5. So we just multiply those together. 3 times 5 is 15 square feet. And then for the blue one, we have to be a little careful. It's not going to be 2 times 6. So it says 6 on top, but we've already used up 3 of that 6 down here. So it's actually 6 minus 3, which is 3 feet. So we have to do a little mental math there. And then to find the area, we just do 3 feet times 2 feet, which is 6 square feet. Okay, so for our total area, we just need to do 15 plus 6, which is 21 square feet. And that one's done. Okay, and then for perimeter, I'm going to switch colors here. I'm going to go to green because we haven't used green yet. So for a perimeter, we just have to kind of count all the way along. So we got 2 feet here. I'm just going to write them down as I go. 2 feet here, 3 feet here. And then right here, we have 5 take away 2. So this whole length was 5, but we've already gone 2. So we have to go 3 more. And then 3 this way. And then 5 this way. And then remember, it was 6 all the way across the top. So if we add all those together, let's see, we got 2 plus 3 is 5, plus 3 more is 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 11 plus 11 is 22 feet. And that one, I believe, is done. So go ahead and practice your 10.3.